What's up everyone, Brandon here from Gearist, and today we're going to be introducing you to the Marathon Shell from Ultimate Direction. When you live in a place like Colorado where Gearist is based, you face a unique set of challenges, especially when you get up above, say, tree line, and not even above tree line, just into higher elevations in general. Part of that is the fact that it may be a little bit cooler up there. As you go through different thermoclines and hit different altitude points, you'll notice the temperature suddenly drop off by a certain number of degrees, so you need to have something packable to stay warm. Likewise, weather can roll in super fast up there, especially when you get up really high. Weather fronts can roll in as little as 10 to 15 minutes without warning, and so you need to have something with you in that case that can help you contend with that weather. That is where the piece that we're looking at today, this jacket right here, called the Marathon Shell from Ultimate Direction, comes in. The main body of the Marathon Shell is made from 36 GSM and 20 denier hex nylon. GSM stands for grams per square meters and measures the density of threads based on weight per square meter. This is an ultralight ripstop fabric that keeps things both light and durable. For the next part, I need to take this guy off, so lining the back upper third of this guy is an open mesh, which you can see right here if I turn it inside out. This gray material right here that comes across the back and the shoulders. This provides, for me anyway, a dual purpose, both of providing a lot of ventilation in this area, about through the back flap, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, and it also prevents a little bit of sticking in that area, so the jacket is not plastered to your back. Both the cuffs as well as the hem of the Marathon Shell have a very lightweight resistance piece of kind of stretch elastic that is embedded into the jacket itself. This helps to create a really lightweight seal without being overly tight. And it also gives plenty of room, if you've got it on the wrist, to fit a glove cuff under there, which is really nice. Also about the hem, I should mention, is that if I hold it up like this, you can notice that the back side of the hem has what we call a drop tail. Now that means that the tail back here falls a couple inches below the front side of the hem. What this does is it covers your butt should you be out there and you've got a little bit of a bubble butt like yours truly, and it also makes a decent option in case you need a cycling windbreaker. The collar of this guy is about 2 inches high. In the men's version, which is what we see right here, this is a half zip version, and then the ladies version is a full zip. On the left breast of the jacket is the only pocket included in the Marathon Shell, and that is this guy right here. It is large enough to fit an iPhone 6. I fit mine there, 6S. It's probably not big enough to fit a phablet, but you may be able to squeeze something like a 6 Plus or something equivalent to that in there. It would be a tight fit, let's just put it that way. But this also doubles as its stuff sack. If while I talk to you guys, I continue to do this, we can stuff the entire jacket pretty quickly and easily into this pocket and then zip it closed. And one of the other things that is on this that I really appreciate is this strap right here. Now, most of the time you have a jacket like this or something, you don't really have a clippable strap like this. But what this is number one, if you want to run or you're hiking or whatever, you can just kind of put it around your hands. You've got an easy way to carry it without having to grip it or something like that. Number two, if you want to strap it to a pack, you could strap it on a front carry strap, something like that, or kind of on a back strap, anything like that. This is a really great way for carrying this thing when you're not using it and if you don't want to stuff it into your pack. There are some pretty good reflective elements on this jacket. You can see the first right down here where it says UD, the Ultimate Direction logo, and the second is a not so subtle big Ultimate Direction. It says Ultimate Direction all the way across the back between the shoulder blades right there. This is really nice at night. I have run in this several times in the evening. Really like the way that it feels. Nice and lightweight and keeps you very visible. As we get into talking about the fit and wear of this piece, I feel like the first thing that I want to mention is the shoulders. I have notoriously broad shoulders, so it is important to me to have something that can work with me in that area. This jacket, the Ultimate Direction Marathon Shell, is ergonomically shaped in that area, so it allows freedom of movement. Even with my arms fully outstretched like this, you can see that the cuff, even if I pull it up, I have to do this, it doesn't come that far back. Even at full extension, it's maybe an inch, not even half inch from where it would be kind of hanging down. It's a really nice fit through the shoulders, and even crossing my arms through the whole running motion, there's nothing that really pulls across the shoulders, and that's very well done. I should mention here that I do typically wear a size large, which is what this is right here. I will say that if you're on the fence, you're like, well, I sometimes wear an XL, but I could wear a large. go the half size up. And the reason is because while the torso, which I'm going to talk about in a second, fits really well and the shoulders fit really well, you might still feel a little more pulling kind of across the upper part of the chest than you might want to see. The fit through the torso, as I'll stand up on my tiptoes here, is really, really excellent. It fits me really well through this area. I don't feel like it's billowy. I don't feel like it's super snug like a compression piece or anything like that. It just fits nicely. Before I get into talking about exactly how this performed, I should let you know the conditions in which I wore this. So it was basically from 50 degrees down to about 10 degrees. Now, of course, during those cold temperatures, there were certainly layers under this to be sure. And I also wore it from about 5,000 feet up to about 10,000 feet. With regard to performance, one of the things I should mention right up front is that this is not waterproof. Now, Ultimate Direction does offer a waterproof option that is a very similar jacket, but it's about twice the weight. We'll talk about the weight in a second, which still makes it a very lightweight waterproof jacket. When I was running in snow, now this was typically pretty powdery Colorado snow, but pretty much the snow did not stick to me at all, just kind of blew away. Mainly because I was running so fast. Just kidding. Heavier, a little bit wetter, more stick-oriented snow did stick a little bit, but it was kind of like it would stick and then just turn into water beads and then just kind of bead off. So that was really nice. When it was in actual rain, not a downpour, just some gentle rain, I ran well in this for about 30 minutes and it pretty much just beaded off and went away. After that point, it was kind of this weird mix of a little bit of sweat under the jacket and water over the jacket that kind of began to get a little bit wet. But again, it's so well ventilated that I wasn't really super stuck to it. I do imagine that if it were a downpour, it would have been a lot different of a story. Now, in terms of the collar keeping rain out, it did a pretty nice job, but there is a little bit of room in this collar, so as the water and sweat would kind of go down my head anyway and run down my neck, that would in turn allow water into the jacket itself. When running at higher elevations, that is where this thing really came into play big time for me. Now, as I went up through the thermoclines, it was really interesting to be able to protect my skin with something so lightweight like this. I could be in a short sleeve shirt, and then because it would go down to like the 40s and then ultimately the 30s, this would allow me to keep my skin protected without really having to have a big insulating piece or anything like that on. Probably one of my favorite aspects of this was actually coming back down out of colder temperatures, and what happened in that case is my ability to just take it off and pack it away. In fact, this is so small and packable when you've got it kind of broken down into that pocket and then you squeeze it down some more that it's really easy to fit even just into the hip belt of a hydration pack or something like that. One of the things I'm often concerned about with super lightweight jackets like this is the durability, but I have to say this has held up really well. It shows really no lines or signs of wear apart from just wrinkles in general and things like that. But even when I was on a run and ran past some rather unruly tree branches that decided to leap out in my way, the fabric held up really well and showed a mark, but then I kind of just scrubbed it away and that was that. I mentioned that this jacket was light. But how light is it? I mean, it's really light. So this thing comes in at 3.6 ounces. My jacket here, 3.6 ounces in a men's size large. This thing is crazy light. For something this light and high performing, you would expect to pay a really steep price tag. And we have seen things with really steep price tags that are really light. But for something this packable, this lightweight, this high performing, this jacket comes in at $100, which, believe it or not, is a pretty decent price. It's not super cheap. We've definitely seen cheaper, but $100 is a really nice entry price point, especially for someone who's just beginning to really make inways into the jacket and apparel market like Ultimate Direction is. And again, the waterproof option that's kind of the sibling of this guy is the Ultra Jacket by Ultimate Direction. A piece like this is something that you can have really 12 months throughout the year, depending on where you live, of course. If you live in like Miami, probably not going to come in very handy. But if you live in a place like we do, any place where you can get up above elevation or have to deal with cooler nighttime temperatures or cooler morning temperatures, something like this that's going to be able to take those transitional zones of temperatures in between going warm to cold or cold back to warm is really invaluable. And the packability of this makes it a superb piece for something like that. Before we get to our question of the day, guys, please don't forget to like and favorite this video, and don't forget to contact us. You can follow us on all our socials at Gearist, and you can also ask us questions for our Ask Gearist series by emailing info@gearist.com, or just leave a comment in the comment section down below. Now, here is our question of the day for you. Do you use a piece like this? Do you have a lightweight windbreaker that's going to be able to take you through those different transitional zones? Or do you pretty much just wear a regular kind of running shirt or hiking shirt or whatever, something that's a TEP fabric and maybe tie it around your waist or something like that? We'd love to hear your answer, so please leave it in the comments section down below. Guys, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please, please, please subscribe to our channel. And if you've got any questions at all, email us at info@gearist.com. Or reach out to us on the socials. Just Google Gearist everywhere. Search for Gearist on all the platforms. We're there. And if you bought a Gearist hat, thank you so much. Our first run of hats has gone out. If you're interested in a hat, let us know. We're probably going to do a second run of the first hat that we did, and we're probably going to do another couple runs of apparel as well. There's more coming from Gearist, you guys, so thank you so much for subscribing and supporting, and that is the way that you can stay on top of all these things, by subscribing. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.